Thank you, madam. Yeah, fine, madam. Yeah. Okay, madam. Okay, madam. Okay, I'll call you back, ma'am. I have class. Huh? Okay. Nilanjan, Nishant,
Present, ma'am.
Pavitra, Maithili,
Present, ma'am.
Priyanka,
Present, ma'am.
Pavan, Akash,
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am. Pawan present, ma'am.
Rajeshwari,
Present, ma'am. Rajeshwari.
Rakesh,
Yes, ma'am.
Ramya,
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi,
Present, ma'am.
Ravi,
Yes, ma'am.
Ravi,
Yes, ma'am.
last class absent, sir. What, sir? Where you were, sir? Rizwan,
Present, ma'am.
Vishal,
Present, ma'am.
Savita,
Ma'am, Pavitra present, ma'am.
Shruti. I'll come back. Shruti,
Present, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sneha,
Present, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Purti,
Present, ma'am.
Srinidhi,
Present, ma'am.
Srinivas,
Present, ma'am.
Sunil,
Present, ma'am. Present,
Vaishnavi,
ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Vinny,
Present, ma'am.
late joining people. Ashok,
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Bhargavi.
Present, ma'am.
Make it fast now. We are already delayed. And who told Pavitra?
Present, ma'am.
Ginger, ma'am.
Ginger. Okay.
Pawan, ma'am.
Pavan. Okay. Anybody else?
Ashok, ma'am. Ashok.
Ashok Hakidinappa. Okay. It's in the last class. What did we see? One second. What I'm doing is I'm even owning in my mobile so that I'll come to know whether you're able to see the screen or not. Okay. Okay, in the last class, we've started with module 2 and we've started with relational model. So in the last class also I was saying you that what is relational model, whereas with respect to DBMS we call relation as a table, whereas here we are calling it as a relation. So the table name we are calling it as a relation. The relation is a collection of related data or relations. And we have seen this, these are the tables which we have and how we call it, and we have seen who has started the relational model and what is the informal definition, a relation, what is a set of rows, what is a set of columns, entity or relationship, all these we have seen informally. And we have seen how do we call the formal definition of relation and schema. So relation may be defined in a multiple ways. There is no hard fast rule that how do we define the relation. Whereas in the schema, we call it as, we represent as R is a relation and we call that A1, A2, A3, A4. So then we started saying that what is a customer ID, all this is what the relation is. So then we have seen about how do we call the formal definition. So a tuple in an ordered set of values. So what is a row in the relational algebra? In the relational model, what we call is a row is called as a tuple. So that's what here you can see. If I have a customer relation, so in the customer relation, how many attributes I have? I have customer ID as one attribute, customer name, address, and phone number. So that's how we call it as a relation in the attributes. Then we have seen how do we define what is a domain. Domain means from where we have taken, whether we have taken from integer, whether we have taken from characters, whether we have taken from string. So how did we take? Then we call it as a domain. So then we have represented the formal way of defining the definition of a relation. So always what we call capital R is called as a relation. A1, capital A1, A2, A3, etc. Any number of attributes I may have in my table, then that is what is represented as a capital A1 is for first attribute, A2 is for the second. Like this, we keeps going on. So this is a general way of representing a relation. So then small r of R. So what is this small r represent is a set of relation capital R is always a subset of domain A1, Cartesian product of domain A2, Cartesian product like this, how many rows, how many attributes I have in the relation, so many. Then R schema of relation, R of R, a specific value or population of R. R is also called as an extension of relation. So capital R, we are calling it as a extension of relation, and small r is called as intension and extension. And we have seen this, let S1, S2, 0, 1, ABC. So then R is a subset of S1 Cartesian product of S2. So what is this Cartesian product? You would have studied in your mathematics, what do we call it as a Cartesian product? Cartesian product, we are calling it as a, calling the Cartesian product. Now I have a set S1, I have a set S2, and how do I represent a Cartesian product of S1 and S2 is 0 A1, 0 B, 0 C. That is 1. Even still I have one more element, 1 A, 1 B, 1 C. So like this, I can represent the Cartesian product of S1, S2. So whereas capital R is a relation. So relation always will be having a subset or Cartesian product of S1, Cartesian product of S2. Then for example, R of R, 0A, 0B, 1C is one possible state or population or extension or of relation R defined over domain S1 and S2. It has a 3 tuples, 0A, 0B, 1C. So this is what is called as a formal definition, or always we call relation is always a subset of 2 Cartesian product sets. And we have seen about, so how do we define the informal and formal definitions of a relation? So informally, we call it as a table, but in a relational model, we call it as a relation. And column, we call it as a column in informal way, whereas in the formal relational model, we call it either an attribute or a domain. So then row is called as a tuple. Value in the column, we call it as a domain. Table definition, we call it as a schema of relation. Populated table means values what we enter into the table, we call it as an extension. So this is what we have seen in the last classes, and we have seen about how these are represented. And we know that, so this table heading, so whatever we have, all these, student is a relation name. So name, SSN, home, phone number, address, office, age, and GPA, this is what is called as an attribute, and these are all called as tuples. So that's what we have seen in the last class. And we have seen the ordering of the how do we order the data. So what is, how the data is being ordered, whether we want the data to be in the some order or not. So now suppose if we take the example of your USN. So if I ask you people, now how did I take the attendance? I have taken the attendance in some order. So what was the order we have taken? We have taken it as a 1, 2, 3, your USN numbers. you remember the USN number, I can call your names and I can take the attendance. Or the other way, what I have done, I've called your names. Why did I call your names? Because I should know whose name and who is a person. So that's how it left to us how we can order in the relation. So in the same way, attributes. So now A1, A2, A3 are all attributes. So attributes also, I can first write your name. In second, I can write USN. Then I can write 31 is your subject detail. I can write 32 like this. I can order. So it is no matter which should come first, which should second. So it's left to the project how you are taking or creation of the table. So in the same way, value in the tuples, I should always be a atomic, and special value null is used to represent if I don't know the values. Suppose if I don't know your phone numbers, so I leave blank at least for some time. Later I can add them. And we have seen about, so how did this characteristics of a relation T of AU, AN, etc. AN. So this is what is called as a characteristics of relation or component values. And this is how we have written student, name, SSN, home phone number, address, office phone number, age, and this. So this is how we represent a relation. And what is this relational integrity constraint? So constraints means what? Constraint is something called a key. So restrictions. So in the relational integrity constraints, we have three. One is key integrity, one is key constraint, next is entity integrity constraint, one more is a referential integrity constraint. So key constraint, so what is this key constraint? Key constraint is called as a super key of R. So what is a super key? So now a key which is minimally used to represent or uniquely identify the relation is called as a super key. Now let us take an example. I'll take your USN, I'll take your name, and I'll take your semester. These three as one set, and that I call it as a super key. In that three elements, which is a minimum one which I can represent is your USN number. That's what is called as a key. So that's what here, in some situations, we may require 2 or 3 values to say that that is a super key. So the same way, take an example, car. In car, state and register number, these two we are forming it as one thing, then I call this as a super key. So that's what here has 2 keys, K1 like this. So this is what. So if a relation has several candidate keys, one arbitrarily you can say one as a primary key. That's what I just told. I can use your USN, I can call your names, or I can call third semester. So these are the 3 ways. If I generally say I want all third semester MCA students, then I can use that as a third semester as a key. Or I can call each one of you, either I can call USN or name. So which uniquely identify, name is also okay, but the only problem comes because in your class there are 2 Deepikas. To identify these 2 people uniquely, then we may use a USN. So in this case, we call primary keys for which one your USN is a primary key. And your names and other things, we are calling it as a candidate keys. So in this case, you can key constraints. So how do we represent? So in a car, license number and your engine serial number are the 2 key constraints. So uniquely, which one I'll represent? I may use a license number. So then what is entity integrity? Relational database schema, a set S of a relation schema that belongs to the same database S. So then how do I say integrity constraint? Integrity constraint means each entity should at least have one primary key, and that primary key should not, I cannot say I will write null. So let us take an example. You have your USN number. So if I say first person name is 01, second is 2. So like this I will keep saying. So sometimes I may say Deepika, I cannot leave Deepika's USN as blank. So that's what here integrity constraint says to us. Always you should have a value. You cannot say null in a primary key. So that is what is called as a entity integrity. Next is referential integrity. So keys and entity, these 2 will be for only one single table, whereas referential integrity is for 2 relations. So I may have 2 relations one table or one relation, we call it as a referencing relation, and another table we call it as a referred. So in this case, we take a foreign key. So and with the relation where it is a primary key, and the other one which we are taking is called as a foreign key and the reference keys. That's what here we have seen. What are the constraints we should have when we say it is a referential integrity constraint? A value of an existing primary key value of a corresponding primary key pk is referred in a relation R2. And in that case, a null is not accepted for the primary key. In case 2, fk in R should not be a part of its own primary key. You cannot say it is a null. So other type of constraints are, suppose if you say that we start working from a particular person works for 56 hours. So now see, they are planning in the college saying that they may start for 2 shifts because we at least we want social distancing. So in that case, your college may start and you may have 2 shifts. Still it is in the initial stage. So then what they're planning 56 hours. Some people have to come in the morning session, that is 7 to 1, and other people have to come something like 9 to something like that. So they may start. So then in that case, how many hours staff has to work? It is a 56 hours per week. Again, it depends upon which language you have to use. So some constraints say that you should use a MySQL. Some constraints say that you should use a Oracle. So it's left to you how you use. So in this thing, you can see a table or a relation, employee is one relation, and this name description of your table, that is relation, is called as a schema diagram. This represents for a company a relational database schema. And if I say that SSN, so what is this SSN? SSN is a primary key. The same way D number is a primary key. So we can see there it is being underlined because other attributes, whatever we have, first name, last name, middle name, birth date, there it is not underlined. Only primary key is getting underlined. So in the same way, D number and location, projects, we have pre-number, works on, social security number and a project number. And dependents, these are the 2 things where we call the schema diagram for a company relation. This is how we can represent. So we store the values into the table. This is what is called as a one possible way of representing, and this is what is called as a state. So which state? So today we have so many people. Tomorrow some more people I may add, or I may delete some more people. Then we call it as a state. So now we have some departments. How many departments we have? We have 3 departments. We may add 2 more departments into that. Then I can say the state from 3 to 5 it is changed. So like this works for project. So today one project, product X is there. Tomorrow the product X project is got over and one more new project is coming. So then the state gets changed. So in the same way, dependents. So dependents, if one person leaves or he is retired, then the dependents also will be removed. So that's how the changes will be there in your relations, and the states keep changing in your tables. This we can see how do we represent the referential integrity constraints. So that is SSN is your primary key, and this super SSN is like this, and D number and location number, works on, and SSN and department number. So that's how this referential integrity constraint using a relational thing we have done. So next we move on to some more operations, the relations thing. Update operation on the relation. We have first one is insert, delete tuple, modify the tuple. Insert a tuple, when do we say insert? When I want to enter the value. So now take this example. I want to insert one more value into this. So then what is the command I am using? I am using the insert. Or I want to delete. So John is a person whose age is 60 and he got retired. So then I have to remove the John's name. So that's how the delete operation, delete tuple will be working. So in the same way, modify. So today, what is the salary? Some salary is there. Tomorrow I'll get promotion and my salary should be updated. So that then I use a modified tuple. So this is how we use them. So how we use integrity constraints should not be violated by update operation. Several update operation may have to be grouped together. Updates may propagate to cause other update automatically. This may be necessary to maintain an integrity constraint. Just take an insertion operation. So insertion operation provide a list of attribute values for a new tuple T that is not inserted into the relation R. Insert can violate any of the 4 types of constraints discussed in the here. So when you are inserting, so you may get error, or because why do we get error? Because you violated some constraints. So what are those constraints? You may be violated domain constraints. Let us take your USN number is what type of data type we have taken. We have taken it as a varchar. So then what I have to enter? I have to enter 1BY 19 MCA01. So instead of entering like that, if I start entering characters C, 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 C. So then how should I identify? Then what I am doing? I am violating the domain constraint. Suppose let me take one more example. Your phone number is what data type I have taken? I have taken number. So then when I'm saying that phone number data type is number, then what I am doing is I will start entering the phone number as A. Then what I am doing? I am violating a domain constraint. So one more is key constraint. So key constraint is what? In the table we have a primary key. So what is that primary key? Now your USN number is a primary key. So in that USN number, so you cannot suppose let me say 1BY 19 MCA01 is Asta. Then already I have inserted the value of Asta into the relation. Now again, next person is Aishwarya. Let us assume that Aishwarya is the second person. So then I will start entering Aishwarya's detail. Then when I am entering, I will start entering 1BY 19 MCA01. Then what is the problem here? Because already USN is a primary key, 1 is already there in the table, then I cannot enter again as 1. So in that case, a key constraint is violated. In the same way, entity integrity. So what is this entity integrity? The primary key, though I say Aishwarya's is 03, then I know, and I will leave a USN number as 0. I cannot leave. That is also entity integrity constraint violation, saying that primary keys column should not be null. You have to enter the value in a primary key. That is what the third constraint says to when you are inserting. And the last one is referential integrity can be violated if the value of any foreign key in T refers to a tuple that does not exist in the referenced relation. Here are some examples of discussion. So let us see this. So what is the discussion here we have? So in this case, what is the discussion I am getting here? Discussion for this is, let us see about insert. So what is this insert is doing? Insert, you are inserting some value, a name, or what is whether male, female, some value. You are giving null here. What is this null here? From which relation you are entering? You are entering into employee. So in employee, first column is first name, middle name, last name, then social security number. So in this employee, you are entering social security number as null. Can we enter social security number as null? Anybody? Can we enter social security number as null? No. Why? Because social security number is a primary key. So then this will be get rejected. So it will not, you will not be in a position to insert, because in social security number you have entered it as a null. Okay, second example. So in this case, the insert constraints, because another tuple with the same USN, that is 999887777, is already there, and I want to insert this with the same social security number, then it will say, it will reject. Why? Because this SSN, social security number, is a primary key, and this primary key, this number is already there. So then I cannot enter the same number. I have to change this number. So this is one more constraint what it is. And third constraint is, so in this case, D number. So the insertion D number constraint specified in D number because department tuple exists with the D number 7. So in this case, again, there is a problem with the D number. So then this also will be rejected. And the last one satisfies all the constraints, so it is accepted. In this case, we are entering proper details of all the values, so then this will be accepted. So this is about inserting a value into the relation. Next one is delete. So when do we delete some value? Suppose let us take an employee table. So in that employee table, today one employee is reached 60 years and he should be removed from tomorrow. So then we use a delete operation. So delete operation can violate only referential integrity if the tuple being deleted is referenced by the foreign keys from other tuples in the database. To specify deletion, a condition on the attribute of the relation, select the tuple to be deleted. Here are some of the examples. So suppose if I want to delete, so delete the works on tuple with this USN number whose project is 10. So this will work because delete is accepted. Everything is fine in this, so delete will work out. Okay, so this is not accepting because the tuple in the works on reference in the tuple. Hence, if the tuple is deleted, referential integrity violation will result. So what is happening here is in the employee tuple, if you delete this, because this is a primary key in the employee tuple, then whatever works for, we have one more table where works on will be referring this SSN number. So then you cannot do, we cannot delete, because until unless you have a reference keys, you cannot delete. So this is a problem in this deletion, means we are violating the value. So in the same way, take this one. The deletion results in worse referential integrity violation because the tuple involved in the reference in this, whatever we are deleting, that is SSN 335, this is a primary key, and it is been referred in which tables? It is referred in employee table, it is referred in department table, it is referred in works on, it is referred in dependent relation. So then I cannot say delete this particular employee, because so the employee still have a thing and he is still working for a particular department, he works for some project and he also has a dependent. Then I cannot delete this employee number. So that's what here we have to take care when we are deleting. So then, so what is this is being done. Okay, so the delete next is update operation. So when do we want to update? So that's what I told, my salary I want to update because I got promotion. So in that case, we use an operation called as an update operation. The update operation is used to change the value of one or more attributes in the tuple of some relation R. It is necessary to specify a condition on the attributes of the relation to select the tuples to be modified. Here are some of the examples. Let us take update. Update the salary of employee tuple with the USN so to something. So what we are asking? So this is a social security of number. So let us assume this is a social security number of one employee and I want to update the salary. So then I can, this will be accepted. Okay, one more thing. So update the department number, who's the employee number is this one to 1. So we just want to update the department number of one particular employee. Today, maybe we are in one department, tomorrow we may get shifted to some other department. Then I have to change it, change the number. That's what here we have done. So this will also be accepted. So then update the D number of the employee tuple with SSN to 7. So this unacceptable because it violates referential integrity. So what we are asking, so update the D number of the employee tuple with so and so to 7, because just now we have updated it to 1 and again we are asking it to update to 7. Then there will be a problem with the referential integrity problem. So in the same way, one more, update SSN number of the employee. Yes, we cannot update. Why? Because this itself is a primary key. I cannot update primary keys. So that's what here unacceptable because it violates a primary key and a referential integrity constraints. Always we cannot update the values of primary keys. So that's what carefully when we are entering a value for a primary key, we should enter. So that's what here this number will not be updated. These are some of the operations on the relations. So then just briefing out. So what are the update operations on relation? In case of integrity violation, several actions can be taken. Cancel the operation that causes the violation. Then what we are doing? We are just rejecting the operation. So then perform the operation, but inform the user violation. We may perform, but still we inform the user of violation. Then trigger additional updates. So the violation is corrected, cascade option, and set null operation. So then trigger is the additional update operation we will be using. When we are using a trigger, then we have to execute a user specified error correction routine. So this is how we use update operations on the relation. The last thing in the relational model part is a transaction concepts. So transaction means, that's what I told, states. So today is one state, tomorrow may be another state. So then that we call it as a transaction concept. A database application program running against a relational database typically run on a series of transactions. We may do some transaction, then we call it as a transaction concepts. Then we move on. Relational algebra. So studied about algebra in your maths. Yes, you would have studied about algebra, and we see how we are using that algebra in our relation means what? Tables. So in the relation part. Okay, so now what we do? Query language. So query language okay, so the language in which user requests information from the database. Category of language, procedure and non-procedure. Procedure means what? You have to follow this. You have to this one should come, next one this one. Whereas in non-procedural, I don't want you do any order. So that's what is a non-procedural. Pure languages are relational algebra, tuple relation calculus, domain relation calculus. But in your syllabus, we have only a relational algebra. These two are not there. So the pure language from form underlying basis of query language that people use. Then relational algebra, procedural language, six basic operator: select, project, union, set difference, intersection, Cartesian product, and rename. So what is relational algebra? In relational algebra, we'll be seeing about what is a procedural language and six basic operators. What are the six basic operators? Select, project, union, set difference, intersection, Cartesian product, and rename. The operators take one or more relations as inputs and give a new relation as a result. So what we do? Let us see one operation by operation. First one is a unary relation operator. Select and project. So the select operation, project operation, these two are called as a unary relation operator. So what is this unary relation? Unary means single. Means only on one table or one relation we are doing the sum operation. Then we call it as a select and a project. So select operation and project operation, a sequence of operations, and rename operation. So let us take a relation R. So in the relation R, so how many columns we have? We have A, B, C, D. How many rows we have? 4 columns we have. How many rows we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the 4 rows we have in a relation R. Then I'll say do a relation operation on R. So let us take one small example. So I will say that do a operation something like this. I want A equal to B, this is power of D greater than 5. So always D greater than 5. So D greater than 5. So which are the rows which are greater than 5? 1, 2, 3. Greater than 5. And because it is 7 is repeated, we'll take it 1. So how to take that 1? And always B should be power D greater than 5. So then this is how we represent a select operation. In select, what we are doing is we are selecting only rows. You can see here in this complete table, how many rows I want? I want some rows where it satisfies the condition. So what condition I have? Again, it changes from one to another. So this is one condition. I want where the D values should be greater than 5. So out of 4 rows, which are greater? 3 are greater, that is 7, 7 and 10. So out of this again, so C also. So they give some condition B. So again, B should be power of D cap 5. So this one B should be cap of 5. So in this case, A should be equal to B. That's what here first one, A should be equal to alpha alpha. Okay. Alpha beta, no, I cannot take this. So I should leave this column. So beta beta, it is fine. But here again, what it says, greater than 5, then I cannot take this row also. Then leave these 2 rows will be left because these 2 are not satisfying the condition. What is the first condition? A should be equal to B. What is A? A is the first column. What is B? B is the second column. So check the values of A and B. Alpha alpha, yes, I can consider this row. Alpha beta, no, I cannot consider this. Beta beta, yes, I can consider. Beta beta, yes, I can consider. But again, when we check this condition, what this condition says to us, D value should be greater than 5. So out of these 3, this will be ruled out. Now how many rows we have ruled out? This is ruled out, this is ruled out. Then we have only 2, this and this. So that's what here the relation, alpha alpha, beta beta, then greater than 5, 7 and 10. So this is how this select operator will be working. Select operator will be working on rows. So what is this working on? This works on a rows and for one table. So for one table, we apply a select operation. So let us just define what is select operation. Select operation is denoted by something like this. This symbol is called as a selection operator on relation R. For which table? Small r. That's what here P is called as a selection predicate, means condition. What condition you want here? What condition you want? That's what we told. A column should be equal to B column and D should be greater than 5. That's what we have seen in the last example. This is called as a predicate, means condition, defined as like this. We are defining this select operation as, this is a select operator predicate condition on the table R, where tuple T is a tuple. Tuple means rows, should belongs to R and it should satisfy the predicate for that particular row. So where P is a formula in propositional calculus consisting of terms connected by and or not. What is this P? In P, we may have a combination of and, or, and not. Each term is often one of the attribute. So either it may be and or not. So along with this, we have operators. What operators we have? We have a equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than or equal to. Okay. So this is how we take. So take one more example. Select which row or which tuple I want. I want to tell. Select branch name equal to Perry Ridge. From which table? From account table. From account table, I want how many tuples? Which tuple I want? I want a tuple Perry Ridge, a branch which is having a Perry Ridge. So that particular tuples I want from which table, from which relation, from account relation. Same way, select the employee tuple whose department is 4 or those whose salaries is greater than $30,000. Then what I have to write? Select what they have told, D number equal to 4. Which relation? Employee. Then select salary greater than which table? Employee table. This syntax we have to remember. So this is what is called as a select. In the same way, select tuples for all the employees who either work in department 4 and make over 25,000 per year, or works in the department 5 and makes over 30,000. So then what we have to do? Select what? Department number equal to 4 or 4 and salary is this one. That is one select. Or because it says either, or department equal to 5 and salary is this much. From which table? From which relation? From employee relation. That's what you can see. Select D number 4 and salary should be greater than 25, or D number equal to 5. What is this? 5 and salary should be this one. From which table? From employee table. So this is what is called as a select. So I'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. Any doubts? Any doubts you can ask me. Any doubts? Any doubts, please?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So any doubts you can ask me here.